Hi, I'm Greg Denning, the author and creator of 5 Fundamental Factors for a Fantastic Life. I have a question for you. Are you happy? Not the showy happy, not the smile you put on for when the neighbors come over, but deep inside, are you really, truly happy? You know, some people believe that's not even possible. But it is possible, and I'm going to show you how. In this video, I'll give you steps, simple steps and strategies that you can start implementing today to start really being more happy. You know, there's so many people that are just stressed out, and they're dealing with anxiety, and they're dealing with turmoil, some with depression. A lot are just living in quiet desperation all the time, and life doesn't have to be like that. You know, we've even come up with these little cute sayings like, basically saying life stinks and then you die. No. Life can be absolutely fantastic. You don't have to keep struggling along, limping through life. Life isn't just an endurance event, right? To see who can hold on the longest before they collapse. It can be awesome, but there's some things we need to do. You know, a lot of people, they get up every morning and they sabotage their own happiness. They get up and they do things every day that make them miserable. And then they're like, well, why does my life stink? Right? They let in, allow, negative thoughts or bring on negative thoughts, which bring negative feelings and, of course, negative consequences. And then wonder, why can't I feel better? Why do I always just dread getting up? They drag themselves out of bed in the morning, force themselves through the day, and then just can't wait to get back to bed. But there's a better way. It really does happen. It really does exist. It doesn't have to be like that. I grew up in a broken home. I was out on my own at an early age. And I'm telling you this so you know that, a lot of people think, well, it's a natural result. Either you're happy or you're not happy. And that's just not the case. Like I said, I grew up, I was out on my own at an early age. Hard times. Man, rough years. Just loneliness and hurt, depression to a level of wanting to just end it all. Why keep going? Just hating being conscious. I'd rather be asleep and dreaming of something just to get up and go, not another one of these. Come on. And wondering, is this life? And fear and doubt and struggle and turmoil surrounded by unhappy people doing unhappy things, and say, man, isn't there a better way? And there is a better way. And that's my message. And I studied and I learned and I fought and I grew and I built happiness for myself. And I'm really truly happy. What you see is what you get, right? This isn't for the camera. This isn't, hey, just once in a while. This isn't, little spurts here and there. I'm a happy person. And if, people have lived around me and been around me, they know I'm happy all the time. I'm excited. I'm energized. I wake up early and excited. And I go through the day like the Energizer Bunny. I'm a walking anti-depressant. Right? People meet me off camera and they're like, man, I've seen your videos. I just thought you were like that on camera. But this is a real deal. This is who I am. But I came from that low place, that dark place of those, I'm talking about the feelings of desperation and hurt and misery. That's where I started. So I wasn't like this. And I came with the whole gamut of issues, right? The psychology problems and all the other issues, emotional or psychological, whatever, just bringing all that baggage along from your past and blaming others and playing the victim. I've been there. I've done that. And now I live this life of happiness and joy, and it's not a perfect life. Don't misunderstand me. Obstacles come, but guess what? I've learned that even with the obstacles, even with the trials, even with the struggle, I can still be happy, and I am. So where do we start? And maybe you're saying, hey, yeah, maybe you can relate to this. And you're like, yeah, life's good. But I want to take it to the next level. I want to be happy. I want to be excited. I want to wake up every day with energy, enthusiasm, and inner peace and happiness. So here's what I did. Here's what I still do. And I guess here's what I would do today. If I were not perpetually happy, really deep, sincere happiness, this is what I would do. And I would start today. And I would do this every single day until I created a sincere and genuine happiness in my life. And like I mentioned just briefly, first and foremost, we got to stop sabotaging our own happiness. I mean, so many of us are making decisions against our better judgment. We know we shouldn't do something and we do it anyways. Or we know, hey, you know what? I really need to do that, and we don't do it. we gotta stop that. We gotta stop hurting our relationships. Gotta stop filling our lives with negativity. And so that's where I'll start. Because every great thing has a great beginning. And I've already debunked that thing. If your life didn't have a great beginning like mine did, that doesn't matter. We can start that over. You can build from today, and your beginning starts today. But your life is made up of your days. And so every great day has a great beginning. And so that's where you start. Have a morning routine. I have a morning routine that I've been doing for over 17 years. It works. It's awesome. You start the day out right, and that helps the day go right. So what do you do in the morning? Well, I have a whole course on that. It's called How to Totally Transform Your Life Before Breakfast. And it just covers it all in detail. If this is something you want to do, check that out. It's totally worth it. Fantastic. It really works. But I'll give you a few suggestions. First thing in the morning, you got to set your mind right. Maybe you'll wake up, you're tired or groggy, or it's foggy outside, or it's raining, or you didn't sleep well. It happens. But you got to set your mind in the right position. One of the best ways to do that is get up and you have to write. Don't just get up and think it. That's good, but writing's better. There's something magical about that. Sit down and write 3 to 5 things you are grateful about that day. Be specific. Okay, think about it. Don't just get, I'm grateful for my family, grateful for my life, grateful for my health. Don't do that. Be really specific. I'm talking like, man, I'm so grateful for my thumb, right? If you ever smash your thumb and you couldn't use it, you realize how tough it is to do things without your thumb. My son cut his thumb the other day. He couldn't use it. And you start realizing, hey, I'm grateful for my thumb, grateful for eyesight, grateful for taste, for touch, for sound, grateful for a camera or a computer or shoes, and you can start, you start being grateful, and it sets your attitude right. It sets your perspective right. Then I want you to write down 3 to 5 things you're going to accomplish that day, right? Something you want to work on, something you want to do. And it can be as simple as give a hug, give a smile, spend some time with a child, whatever it is, and write those down. And that's going to set your mind in the right position to get going for the day. Next, you got to get in some exercise. There's something incredible about good, vigorous exercise. It gets the endorphins going. It gets your blood pumping. It helps your mind. It literally releases, happy drugs inside your body. Your body is the most amazing pharmacy on the earth. I mean, you can get those things going, and it works. Just get some good exercise in. Slap on your shoes. Get going. Get walking. Get outside. I'm always amazed at the perspective and the good feelings it brings just to purposely go outside and walk around in a park, through the woods, wherever you are. Just get outdoors and enjoy nature and get your lungs breathing, your heart pumping. There's just magic in that. Okay, that's number 2. So morning routine, you've got to set your mind right. Get good input. Get great quotes, great ideas, great books, scriptures. Get those ideas in your mind, and it'll set your mind, and they'll stay with you through the day. Then exercise. So now you got psychology working in your favor and physiology. Okay, we've got to carry ourselves better. So many of us are slumped down, okay, and our bodies hurt. And a lot of people are literally poisoning their bodies. They're just putting all kinds of junk in there. And then they're dragging themselves to the coffee shop or the gas station to get an energy drink just so they can function. They're not helping themselves. And so your body's working against your good feelings. So we need to get those bodies in shape. We need to stand up. We need to sit up. We need to feel good. A lot of people are suffering from a weak core, and they're carrying around extra weight, and they're just not feeling good. You got to get the body where it feels excellent. So then it's working in your favor instead of working against you. You want to be happy? Get your body in a happy condition. Get your mind in a happy condition. That moves us to food. There are literally happy foods. Okay, there's foods you eat that just drag you down, physically, emotionally, mentally, and there's foods you eat that bring you up. This is science. And there's a thing called serotonin. And there's serotonin foods, and they get in your body, they give you energy, they give you excitement, they just make you feel better. Well, a lot of us are just grabbing some fast food or some junk food or greasy food in the morning. We get it in there, it slams us, and boy, within a bit, we're just dragging. Oh, I don't feel well. Or you eat something, it might taste great, but then it just makes you feel cruddy. All the carbonations and the greasy foods and the white flour foods and just the fatty foods. All that stuff will just get in your tank and just blah. So eliminate that stuff and eat foods that have high serotonin. Eat fruits, eat salads, get a little bit of yogurt. Eliminate a lot of the dairies and get the poisons out of your life. Get the caffeine and the alcohol, the tobacco, any of that, the high sugars, just any of that garbage. Any of those junk foods or the high fructose corn syrup stuff. Just start checking out, all the processed food. It's going to drag you down. And you know as well as I do, your body feels yucky. It's hard to feel excited and energized alive. I have energy. I got enough energy to run a small town. And I feel good because I cut all of that stuff out of my life when I was 16 years old. Just eliminated it. I wanted to get into bodybuilding, and I just started studying intensely. How can I maximize growth and energy, and so my body responds? And I've got a clean system, and I try to eat really well and eat good foods and in a proper balance, not eating too much and not eating all this processed junk. And so it just gives you energy, right? Again, working in your favor. So morning routine, exercise, good fuel in your body. Next, you need to make sure you're really hydrated. Most people are dehydrated. They're way below where they should be. Drink tons of water. Yeah, but it's going to make me pee. So what? You got to get water in your body. Our bodies just function off water. Our cells. A lot of people are suffering. Their joints hurt. Their backs hurt. They just are they're dragging. And a lot of that is simply hydration. Most people, like I said, are severely dehydrated, and they're hurting because of it. And that affects your mental levels, your emotional levels, and your physical levels. Get tons of water in your body. Make a habit of that, and you'll start feeling better soon. Next, smile. All right, you got to smile all the time. I want you to have permagrin, but we'll work up to that, right? And you don't maybe you don't even want the energy levels I've got. Maybe you're like, gosh, this guy's annoying. Get off the camera already. But smiling does something. There's actually chemical reactions to smiling. Put on a big smile, you feel better. And if you ever catch yourself just kind of humdrum, just smile. Force yourself to smile. If you've got something really funny, turn on. Just laugh until your gut hurts. But smile and release that. Get hugs. There's actually a chemical emotional reaction from a hug. Get a hug. Get a smile. Feel good. So one of the things I want you to do is smile. Maybe pick 50 times, and count if you need to. Carry it over. Check it out. Smile at people. When you're sitting there and you're just force yourself to smile. And it may feel really awkward and really weird. You may be sitting in a meeting and just be like, just smile. And make yourself laugh and smile. People are like, what are you smiling about? What's so funny? And just, I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm going to be more smiley. Just smile all the time. Make that work for you, and it'll work to others. You'll smile at them, and they'll smile back. Okay, they took a university in California. They took 20 clinically depressed people. They got the label. They were on the drugs. They did everything, and they said, we want to do a smile test. And all they did with these people for 3 weeks, they had to get up, and for 20 minutes, they had to stand in front of a mirror with a big old humming, cheesy smile. And it literally transformed them. They changed. They stopped. It helped get rid of the depression, get off the medications. Just that simple fact. And I know it doesn't sound true. It doesn't sound real. But I'm telling you, there is a physiological reaction to smiling. It will change your thoughts. It will change your feelings, and it will change your physiology. Smile, okay? just be happy and force yourself. Find something to smile about. A puppy, a child, a beautiful sunset, a tree, whatever it is. Just find something and smile about it. Get a happy thought or a funny thought that can be your go-to. Just so you start smiling more. Another thing you can start doing is dance. You know, my wife just loves to dance. When she turns on happy music and gets dancing, man, it just makes you feel alive. Again, physiology. Get that body moving. Get some music. It's got to be edifying. It's got to be uplifting. A lot of people dance to crud music that just is kind of dark. Even the lyrics or the beat or whatever. Make sure it's good music. It's uplifting. Put on something that makes you feel happy and jovial and loose. Dance around. If you got to dance 3 or 4 times a day, do it. If you got to put a little music, you got your dance routine, you got your happy music on your iPhone or whatever, you got to slap it in there and just dance a bit. I mean, you can do it in public or sneak into the bathroom, hide in the stall and do a little dance. I mean, get happy. Feel good. It's worth it, right? And you might, that's crazy. Is it worth it? Do you want to be really happy? Right? Do you want to stop with the drudgery? With the humdrum existence of just living an okay life? Do whatever you have to do and you'll develop habits, happy habits. I'm serious. Maybe you're one of those people that have developed unhappy habits. And so you're just constantly kind of in a flatliner state and you need some defibrillators to wake up and get going. Develop happy habits. You know, we're making this little list here, and you might check it off for the first few weeks, but then it becomes natural to you. And you'll think happy, you'll feel happy, you'll act happy. And it'll come, and then you'll build a lifestyle around it, and you'll just be happy all the time. And people are like, why are you so happy? How are you so happy all the time? How do you do that? And you say, well, it's just me. It's just who I am. You can become happy. The next critical element is called thought replacement. If ever there's a negative thought or a pessimistic thought or a depressing thought, you've got to replace it with a great thought. I mean, some people, seriously, their biggest enemy is right between their ears. I mean, they're killing themselves. They're creating their own misery by having these negative spiral thoughts that are just unhappy all the time. Just like they got a dark rain cloud right in their head. It's got to stop. You got to catch yourself. And what I say, I call it your emergency brake. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, and it usually spirals, and man, that destroys families and marriages and business. It just destroys lives. And you ever feel yourself like you got to have an emergency brake and just stop right there. Grab that emergency brake and say, nope, I'm not going down there. Well, what can that brake be? It can be a poem. It can be a scripture. It can be a song. It can be a little action. Whatever it is for you that just, okay, nope, I'm not going there. Maybe you rub your wedding ring. Maybe it's just a favorite idea. Something that just kind of snaps you out of it. Maybe it's a go-to perspective. I have a few of those. Throughout my life experiences, I've gained a few perspectives that are my immediate go-to. And if I ever get going down a mental path and I know I don't want to go down, I immediately go to these perspectives. I'll share a couple of them. You need to come up with your own. If ever I'm frustrated with my marriage or my wife or myself and just there's some negativity there, I immediately think of the wonderful widows or widowers that I know, some in my own family, who've lost their spouse. Boy, that just snaps me back into reality and gives me some perspective. Okay, hey, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, whatever this little issue is, we can work it out because that's a whole nother level. That's my go-to. Whenever there's frustration with children, you get impatient with them, they're fighting or they're making a mess or whatever. For me, my go-to is an accident we had in Alaska where a teenager hit us and my 3-year-old daughter was ejected from the car. And I found her across the ditch, lying in the weeds. And we almost lost her that night. And my son got scalped. I mean, we almost lost 2 kids that night. Go-to for me is all the wonderful people I've met and worked with and served and lived among in developing countries. Whenever I get to thinking, oh, my life is hard, oh, things are tough, oh, woe is me, whoa, stop right there. And I remember these wonderful people who, many of them literally have almost nothing. And find happiness and joy and peace in really close family relationships. And I see their struggles and their trials and how hard life is for them. And man, that is an immediate reality check for me. And it brings back that perspective. Say, wait a minute, no, things aren't that. I'm really blessed. And it gets me back on my gratitude, gets me thinking in the right way, gets me feeling better, and gets back at it. And so that those to me now are habitual. I go there immediately, and it just, you won't even notice it. If ever the thought creeps in, oh, things are tough, woe is me, boom, get rid of that so fast and back to feeling happy and alive and energized and excited and grateful. You know, I'll share one with you. We were over in southern India, invited over a friend's house, and I just love and admire this man. He's just amazing. And he and his wife lived with their 4 children in a little house. It was probably 10 feet by 15 feet or 20 feet, and that's it. And they had divided the kind of a half wall, and they had a kitchen on one side and a bed on the other, and that's it. With 4 grown kids. And they had a bed in there, and they invited us over for dinner, and we ate around the bed and had the dinner on like as though it was the table. And then the kids kind of slept in this little outbuilding they had, and that was it. One of the happiest families I've ever met. One of the closest knit families I've ever met. And solid, good people whom I admire and I learned from. They taught me that day. But that's how they live. You know, the people in Guatemala, who so many of them have to go out and chop their wood every day and carry back tons of weight. You know, they put these straps on their head and carry their wood down just to cook a meal. And many of them, all they have is just a corn tortilla to eat. I mean, those are just a couple examples. I think, man, no, that's a hard life. Okay, and even talking to them, they're like, no, yeah, I've done this my whole life, no big deal. You know, so-and-so, yeah, they have a hard life. I mean, it's just perspective. And it helps. So there's a couple other things I want you to do, or invite you to do. Maybe you got to find your own things that make it work for you. I want you to memorize some of these things you go to. Carry around a 3x5 card with you and write down some great ideas, some great thoughts, some great principles. One thing you may want to do, and I highly encourage you to do this, just memorize it, make it yours, carry it around with you, read it throughout the day, is the prayer of St. Francis. Absolutely amazing. I mean, if you can let that touch your heart and your mind and really come to understand it and perceive it and make it yours, own it, internalize it so it's yours, that will change the way you think and the way you live. Seriously. Pick favorite quotes, favorite ideas, maybe power words. Maybe you just need to write a couple power words on there. Energized, awake, alive, grateful, passionate. And get some purpose and your passion in your life. A lot of people are kind of aimless, kind of wandering. They have a hard time being really happy because they're just kind of floating along. They don't have a drive. They don't have that sense of purpose that gives them the energy and excitement to really go after it. So write those things down on your card and carry that with you and make it frequent. And you got to do these things. Don't just watch this and go, oh, that's neat and that's nice. Oh, that's a good idea. Really do this stuff. And don't blow it off either as being, too simple or too elementary. Happiness isn't complicated. I think we make it too complicated. It really is simple. And there's little steps that become habitual, and then you create those happiness habits. The last thing you might want to do is just put up notes and reminders everywhere. Tell your family, hey, let's all be happier. How can we do it? Let's put a heart up on the fridge. Let's put this other word up over here, this idea here. Let's put up a picture of something that makes us really happy and excited. And just post them everywhere. Put them in your car, put them in your mirror, put them in your bathroom, put them on your computer. And tell everyone, hey, let's smile more. Let's be happy. Let's more energized. If you ever see me without a smile, say, hey, remember, you need to smile more. And just put it in front of you so it's not out of sight, out of mind. Just have it in front of you. Now, the last thing I want to ask you is just share this with people. Share this with your friends and your family. We all could be so much happier inspire them, lift them, motivate them. Let's take our whole happiness level to a totally new level where we really deeply are at peace and excited, and you have a supercharged life. And always, if you want inspiration, you got to have that input determines output. Go and like my Facebook page. Put in your name and email for some high performance trainings on the website to supercharge your life on gregdenning.com. And you know what? Reach upward. Go after it. Be sincerely happy and energized for the rest of your life.